I think it's safe to say that as a society, we are not doing a very good job of teaching our kids about money. It's not something that they really get in school. And as parents, I think that we are not really equipped to teach our kids about money. I know that as a parent myself, this is something that I am struggling with and my wife and I are struggling with. We have a 17-year-old son. He only has 1 year left of school. The older a kid gets, the more expensive they get and the more need they have for money. And as my son has become a little bit older and he has started to need more money, I've realized that I have probably failed him in certain ways when it comes to teaching him about money. This is an area I know that I am not an expert in. So I did what I typically do when I want to learn more about an area. I bought a book. So in this case, I bought a book by Dave Ramsey and his daughter, Rachel Cruze. It's called Smart Money, Smart Kids. So as I started reading this book, I realized that this is information that would be really valuable to my listeners on the Fresh Start for Life podcast. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do a 2 to 3 episode series all about teaching our kids about money. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this book. I'm going to discuss the things that I'm learning from the book and talk to you about how I've applied these things that I've learned to my own family. In this episode, we are going to focus on developing a system that will teach our kids that money comes from work and that it must be earned. We'll talk a little bit about the difference between allowance and commission, and I'll share with you how I have developed a plan to incorporate these principles within my own family. I think this is a really important topic, and I think you're going to get a lot out of this. And I actually encourage you to pick up Dave Ramsey and Rachel Cruze's book, Smart Money, Smart Kids. But right now, let's cue the music.
Welcome to the Fresh Start for Life podcast, the show that will help you get out of debt and start living the financial life of your dreams. Now, here's your host, Don Golden.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode number 6 of the Fresh Start for Life podcast. I'm your host, Don Golden. Today, we're doing a very special episode. This is going to be the first in a series of 2 or 3. I haven't really figured out yet how long the series is going to be. But as I said in the intro, this is going to be all about teaching our children about money. And I think that there's really nothing more valuable that we could do for our kids than teach them about money. Well, that's actually probably an overstatement. There's a lot of important things that we teach our children, but let's just say that this is one important thing that I think that we do need to focus on teaching our children, and it's something that kind of gets overlooked. I've been thinking a lot about this lately as my son gets older and he's getting ready to go off to college. I'm really starting to feel like I have failed him in certain ways. He's a really good kid. He doesn't ask me for a lot, but I think I probably give him too much, and I think that it's time that we start thinking about teaching him that, you have to work for things and you have to earn things. And I'm really concerned that he may have a sense of entitlement. And I think that that's common for 17-year-old kids. I really feel like my 15-year-old kind of feels that way, 15-year-old daughter. So, it's something that I've been worrying about. And so, like I said in the intro, I've decided to buy a book on this subject to educate myself so that I could put myself in a better position to teach my kids about money. Because the last thing I want them to do is to get out there in the real world and fail because they didn't learn that money comes from work, that you have to earn the money. And I also want them to know the proper ways to handle money once they've earned it. And these are areas that I really feel like I have not done a very good job in teaching them so far. So I want to correct it. Now's the time. It's not too late, hopefully. I've got a whole nother year with my son. I've got my 15-year-old's a freshman, so I have 3 more years of her in high school. And then I also have a 9-year-old who's finishing 3rd grade. And I know that she's just going to eat this stuff up. And I know that she's going to really flourish with this information. So I am really excited about this topic. It's something that I was so excited about. And it's something that I think is so important for our society that I really wanted to share this with you. As I said in the intro, I'm going to use myself as kind of the test case and as the case study for you. I'm going to let you know how it goes with my family throughout the various episodes. And hopefully that you will take the things that I'm doing and learn from my mistakes learn from the struggles that my family has, and you'll incorporate this into your own family, and hopefully you will succeed in teaching your children about money as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do, something that I learned in the book, something I've kind of known all along, but it kind of rekindled this idea from reading the book. And that book, again, is, of course, Smart Money, Smart Kids by Dave Ramsey and Rachel Cruze. Basically, I have pretty much given my kids money for things that they've needed. Now, we as parents, we do have a duty to support our children. This doesn't mean that we should not take care of their basic needs and things like that. But I've been pretty free about just giving them extra money for, now that my son's driving, things like buying his gas for his car, paying him to go out to eat with his friends. And that now I realize that I need to rein that in a little bit. I want him doing these things because it's very good for him socially, but it can't be at the expense of coming out of my wallet every single time. So that's really what sparked this whole thing is, as I said earlier, the older kids get, the more they want to spend. And the more they kind of need to spend. You have different wants and needs the older you get. When you start driving and you start getting social, start going out with friends and maybe even having girlfriends and boyfriends, your need for money definitely increases. And I can't keep just giving him money. So that's what sparked this whole thing. I know that we need to start making our kids earn some money of their own. And this is a big debate in a lot of families. A lot of families believe, and my wife certainly does believe this, that just being a member of the family requires that you do certain jobs around the house. And Dave Ramsey definitely agrees with that. He definitely agrees that being a member of a family does come with some requirements, and some of those requirements are that you help around the house. But what he wants you to understand is that if you just say, we're not going to pay you for any of the work that you do around the house, you're missing the point. You're missing the point of teaching them that money comes from work, and you're preventing them from having the opportunity of knowing that when you give them money, they've earned it. So he definitely recognizes that idea and that debate, but he says it's still worthwhile to pick some chores out that your children do or are required to do and pay them for them. And then other chores that they're also required to do, you don't pay them for. So we're going to get into that in a little bit more detail in a minute. But the other thing I want to talk about right now is the difference between an allowance and a commission. Dave Ramsey hates the word allowance. The reason he hates the word allowance is he believes that it is more of an entitlement, and that when you give a kid an allowance, it's not necessarily earned. It's providing to them because they can't provide for themselves. And he just thinks it sends a bad message to a child to call it an allowance. So he chooses to call money that he pays to his kids for doing chores a commission. And the reason that is because it's more tied to, the real world and work. When you're in the real world and you do some work, you maybe get a salary, but oftentimes you receive a commission. And the reason why he likes commission in this case is because if you're a salesperson, just for instance, if you make a sale, you get paid. You get paid a commission typically. If you don't make a sale, you don't get paid your commission. And that's what he wants us to do with chores. He wants us to set up a list of chores for our kids to do. And if they do them, great, they get paid. They get paid their commission. If they don't do that chore for that particular time period, they don't get paid for it. And that teaches them that they have to work for their money. If they don't work for the money, they're not going to get the money. So we are going to incorporate that in our family. We're not going to have allowances. We're going to have commissions. Okay, now, when should you start children on doing chores around the house for commission? Dave recommends you start them real early. In the book, he suggests you start them out at 3 to 5 years old. I know that sounds really early and really young, but really this is a great time to start teaching them about this concept. The younger we start children with the idea that money comes from work, the better, really, in my opinion. I agree with Dave. And 3 to 5 is a good age. Now, what types of jobs should we be giving a 3 to 5-year-old? They should be really simple jobs that you may expect them to do anyway, like picking up their toys, putting dirty laundry in a basket, making their own bed. Maybe it's matching socks in the clean laundry. You do a load of laundry, you've got a basket of socks, and they just match those up. Maybe it's setting the dinner table with some supervision. Maybe it's collecting indoor trash cans from around the house so that we can empty them. Or maybe it's them just helping carry some light groceries into the house. just little simple jobs that a 3 to 5 year old could help with. Nothing major, and the point is that you just want to get them doing something. And for a young kid like this, we want to pay them fast and with excitement. So we'll put a dollar amount next to that job. Let's say it's 50 cents to help us carry in the groceries. As soon as they get done helping us carrying in those groceries, grab that 50 cents out of your pocket and pay them right away and get excited about it and say, wow, look, you just earned 50 cents, and give it to them right away and get them excited about the fact that they've actually earned money of their own. I would recommend you give them a piggy bank or something like that for them to put their 50 cents in each time that they earn it. And that will be their little savings, their little piggy bank savings. And the focus here is on them having their own money to spend. Like we have a pizza place, and at our pizza place that we like to go to, there's a bunch of little video type games. There's a candy coin crane thing where you get candy if you win. Every kid is a winner in the candy crane game at our pizza place, but it does cost like 50 cents. It's not 50 cents well spent, so it's not something that I would want to encourage my kids to do a lot, but they have fun. Well, my littlest one does. She has fun doing it. So this would be a great thing for a young child to do with their 50 cents that they've earned. So at this stage of the game, we don't want to get into a lot of high-end financial things with them. We just want to teach them about earning money from doing little chores around the house, and that they're going to get to spend that money on something that they want to spend it on down the road. So the focus at this age for 3 to 5 year olds is just teaching them that they can earn money for doing little things around the house and that they will get to spend that money later on. As they get older, we're going to start incorporating other things into the lesson about spending, saving, and giving away. But for now, for 3 to 5 year olds, we just want to focus on them earning a little bit of money that they can spend. I currently do not have any children in the 3 to 5 year old age group, so I will not be able to help with this. This will not be part of my test study. My children are ages 9, 15, and 17. So we're going to get into ages 6 to 13 now, which is the next age group, and I do have one in that age. So I will get into now the recommendations for kids that are ages 6 to 13, and I will let you know what we're doing for my 9-year-old. Okay, for children ages 6 to 13, the recommendation is that you pick a handful of chores and assign a dollar amount for each chore. What Dave recommends, Dave and Rachel, what they recommend is that we create an actual chart that we can put up somewhere, a chore chart, where all the chores that we have listed are written out with the different days of the week. And the child can go in, and as they do their chores, they check off the box for each day that they actually accomplish that chore. So pick a handful of chores that we want to pay for, assign a dollar amount to each, and create a chart. Now, as we talked about earlier, we don't want to pay for everything. Some chores are just expected as being part of the family. And what in Dave's family, what they did is that they really believed that keeping the kitchen cleaned up was just part of being in the family. And so everybody was responsible for taking care of their own dinner dishes, making sure they made it to the sink or the dishwasher, whichever the case could be. And so those were types of chores that they did not pay for. And we're going to basically adopt that as well. So I also believe that the children should be cleaning up after themselves after they eat a meal. And so we will not be paying money for taking care of our children's own dinner dishes. But for Anna, my 9-year-old, we have definitely identified some chores that we're going to have her do, and we're going to pay her for them. So what we've decided is we came up with 5 different things that we want her to do. The first chore that we came up with for her is we want her to put away the clean silverware out of the dishwasher. I'll get into why just the silverware later on when I talk to you about our chores for our daughter, Ella. But for now, we'll just know that my Anna doesn't mind putting away the silverware. It's something that she can actually reach. She's really short, so she can't reach to put away all the dishes in the dishwasher. So she can easily reach the silverware drawer. So we're going to have her take care of the silverware, the clean silverware from the dishwasher. The second thing that we're going to have her do is water the plants. We have several plants on our front porch. It's very hot here in Florida. They need water regularly. And it's something that my wife and I certainly are not great at. We bought these beautiful plants. We'd like to keep them alive. And we think that would be a great job for Anna. She actually likes going out and watering the plants. So we think that this will be a good way to help us keep the plants alive, keep our house looking nice by having nice, healthy plants. outside on our front porch, and it'll be a good way for Anna to earn a little extra money. The third thing we're going to have her do is we have 2 cats. Anna absolutely adores these cats. So we want her to understand that having cats comes with some work. There's work involved with having pets. So we want her to clean out the litter box on a daily basis. She's 9 years old. She can definitely handle this. This is not a difficult job. And it's something that I think that she won't mind doing because she does love the cats. And she needs to know that having cats comes with work. Anyway, it's not a good job. I don't like to do this job, but I think that that's something that would be good for her to start doing. The fourth thing is very simple. I've read a study that says that people that make their beds really accomplish more on a regular basis. And I want to make sure that my kids make their beds. They typically don't right now. So I need them to start making their beds. So I'm going to actually have a dollar amount assigned to the task of Anna making her bed on a daily basis. And the last thing is my wife typically does laundry quite a bit, quite frequently with a family of 5. You have to do the laundry a lot. We're going to have Anna actually be assigned the task of folding the towels. This isn't a big deal. It's not a major thing, but it's just one extra thing that we think that she can pitch in and help on. So about twice a week, we will have her fold towels. And that's going to be it for her. So 5 of the tasks or 5 of the chores that she's going to be assigned to will probably be daily chores. And then the 5th one, the folding the towels, will probably be every few days. Every 2 or 3 days, we'll ask her to fold towels. Now for Anna, I'm going to actually give her 3 different envelopes. And in those envelopes are going to be, or they're going to be labeled actually, not in them, but they're going to be labeled spending, giving, and saving. And I'm going to go into detail with her about what this all means. We've already kind of talked to her a little bit about this idea that we have and that we're going to start giving her some money for chores and that she's going to be able to spend the money on things that she wants. And she is really excited. So I feel like the 9-year-old is going to be completely on board with this. I'm pretty excited about the fact that we're going to be starting this with her at the age of 9 because she's got a long way to go in our household. And, I just think that she's going to eat this up and I think it's going to be great for her. But unfortunately, the next age group is 14 to college. And that's the age group that my 2 older kids are in. Now, we have been really lax with our kids on doing work around the house. And, this is where it's going to come back to haunt us. We're going to try to incorporate this now at a later age. And I'm really worried how this is going to go over. So I'm recording this episode on the Saturday before Mother's Day. And I actually have not told the older children about this yet. And I'm a little bit worried about how it's going to go over with them because up to this point, we've just given them money. And we'll continue to give them some money, because they are our children. But I want them to obviously learn, as I've said multiple times during this episode already, that money comes from work and that you have to work for your money. One of the reasons why I know that this is a little bit of a problem is because my son does have a job right now. He is a hockey referee and he makes pretty good money doing that. The money comes in, we get a check. It just sits on the table for a very long time until I actually make him take that money to the bank and put it in his savings account. Up to this point, I have told him he had to save all the money, and that's probably why he hasn't been anxious to do anything with it because he doesn't get to benefit from it. I've made him put all his hockey checks into the bank as savings. And at first, I really felt like that was the right thing to do. But what that has done is it has required me to come out of my pocket to pay for everything still for him. He's really regularly asking me for gas money, asking me for money to go out to eat with his friends, all the things that I've talked about already earlier in this episode. Now that I've picked up this book and I've actually started reading it, I'm doing this wrong. He's earning his own money now. He needs to learn how to spend it. And he needs to know that it's okay to spend some of his own money. And so we're going to start trying to incorporate this into the life of our 17-year-old and our 15-year-old. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here. So let me take a step back and let me tell you what Dave and Rachel say that you should do with children ages 14 to college. So children ages 14 through college should also have chores around the house. They say that you can choose to pay them for some chores, or you don't have to. In my case, I am going to have some chores that we're going to pay them for. And partially that's because we haven't really required them to do very much around the house. And now that we're going to be incorporating some chores that we're going to require them to do, I want there to be some benefit to them in that. So we will be paying money for some chores around the house. But the most important thing that they say is that once children get to the age of 14 through college age, they are capable of going out and earning money outside of the home. And they want you to encourage your children to go out and start earning extra money from other sources, possibly through babysitting or getting a job at the supermarket. That was what I did growing up. When I was 15 years old, I went down, I got a job at the supermarket, and I absolutely loved it. So we are coming up on summer. I have encouraged my son to look around for jobs. Actually, he did this on his own. He actually started doing this on his own a few weeks ago. He put in an application at a few restaurants. He thinks he wants to work in the restaurant business. I don't love that idea, but whatever. I just want him to get a job because although, as I said earlier, he is a hockey referee and he actually makes darn good money as a hockey referee. I mean, really good money. I mean, he could make $100 easily in a day or two as a hockey referee, and it's way above minimum wage. So he can't make this kind of money doing anything else. But the reason why I want him to do something else in addition to being a hockey referee is it's not very steady. You know, he may only get 2 games in a week. Like this week, he's working right now, as a matter of fact. He's working games right now, but he's only got 2 games assigned today. So today he'll make $44. He's got 2 squirt games, which is the lowest paying level. And so he'll make $22 a game. For 2 games, it's $44. Not bad in about 2.5 hours at work. So the money's really good, but there's lessons that I think a kid can learn by getting a different type of job, by working in a supermarket or a restaurant or something like that. You learn to work with people. You learn to work with the public. You have to answer to a boss. There's just so many life lessons that a child learns by getting out into the real world and working. So for him, I think that he kind of wants to work in addition to his refereeing. So he has put in a few applications. I'm going to definitely continue to encourage him to look for work this summer. Hopefully he finds something in addition to being a hockey referee. So my 15-year-old daughter, she doesn't drive yet. She has no interest in driving. She's a little bit scared of driving. So it's harder for her to work outside the home. She's going to be limited to babysitting jobs. I haven't talked to her yet about this. She actually kind of does not like children that much. So I don't know that she's going to be crazy about babysitting. She does pick up some jobs taking care of other people's pets. In the summertime especially, people go away. And she does do some pet sitting type jobs where she takes care of cats or walks dogs. Both of my older children actually do a little bit of that. And that does pay them pretty well, actually. So I'm sure she'll get a couple of those gigs this summer. But for her, she has seen how well my son has done as a hockey referee. And my daughter plays soccer. And she has decided that she wants to get certified as a referee for soccer. So we're going to look into that this summer. I'm going to help her find the course that she needs to take to get certified as a referee. And hopefully in the fall, we'll get her on a list so that she can start doing some refereeing for soccer. And that will generate a little bit of money for her earned outside of our home. But both my older children are also going to have jobs, as I said earlier, that we're going to pay them for doing things around the house. My daughter, Ella, I'm going to have her empty the dishwasher. The reason we're having Anna do the silverware is because, as I said earlier, she can reach the silverware drawer. She can't reach some of the other cabinets, but also because Ella has braces, or she had braces. And ever since she's had her braces, now her braces are actually off, but she can't stand the sound of silverware touching each other and clinking. I mean, it actually hurts her mouth for that to happen or to hear that sound. So I'm not going to ask her to do the silverware, but we're going to ask her to definitely do the rest of the dishes in the dishwasher. The other thing we're going to have her do is we're going to teach her how to do her own laundry. We're going to have her keep her own laundry in her own laundry basket and do her own laundry every week. I think that's going to be good for her to learn how to do her own laundry so that when she goes off to college, she'll already know how to do it. We're going to give her a little bit of money each week for doing her own laundry. The other things we're going to have her do are very simple things. I'm going to have her take the garbage cans every Monday, and Thursday is garbage day in our neighborhood. We have to take the garbage cans down by the street, and they just sit there for a long time. And sometimes they're in my way when I come home from work. I can't get in the driveway. I'm going to make that her job to bring those garbage cans back up and put them in the garage. And we're going to give her a small dollar amount for doing that. And then the other thing is we're going to have her make her bed. This is something that I know she's going to fight us on. I'm not looking forward to having this conversation with her and telling her that I want her to make her bed every day. So, because she's never done it and she's been very reluctant to do things around the house. And this is something that we definitely have to improve on in order to make her the best person she could be when she gets ready to get out of the house. So we're going to just give a small dollar amount for her to make her bed. And we'll keep track of it. And when she does it, she's going to get paid for it. And when she doesn't, she won't. She loves books. I know that's what she's going to want to use her money on is books. And that's what I'm going to use as the incentive. I'm going to tell her, Ella, you do these things, you're going to be able to buy more books. I'm not going to keep just giving you money to buy books anymore, even though I love the fact that she wants to read books and wants to buy books. I'm going to make her earn these books by earning her own money. For my older son, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to have him do his own laundry and he'll get paid for that. I'm going to ask him to every day take out the garbage and the recycle and put them in the bin in the garage. And then the big thing we're going to have him do is I currently have a lawn service. I'm going to cancel the lawn service and my son is going to be responsible for taking care of the lawn. And this is going to have a nice little price tag attached to it. So I think he's going to like the money he's going to get from it because it's an expensive chore. And I'm going to be willing to pay for it because I'm going to be saving money from paying the lawn service. There's no reason why a 17-year-old boy can't mow the lawn. I mowed the lawn certainly when I was 17. He should probably be mowing the lawn and I should not be spending money on a lawn service. So this is my plan for my children. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow. I feel bad about this because it is Mother's Day. As I said, today's the day before Mother's Day. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. We're going to have this meeting on Mother's Day. I don't know how this is going to go over. I will give you the report back in the next episode and share with you. I know my youngest is going to be head over heels. She's going to love it. My two older children, I don't know how much they're going to love this, but it's important that they do it. And it's important that we make them do it. It's our duty as parents to teach our children responsibility and to teach them that money comes from work and that if they want money for things, they have to work for it. The last thing I want to talk about is for children ages 14 to college. Dave and Rachel recommend that we kind of graduate from the envelope system with them and instead we have them open their own checking accounts and we start teaching them about managing a checking account. And this is really important. I know many adults that I see in my business on a day-to-day basis that have no idea how to really run a checking account. And, they go into the negative constantly and they're paying all these huge fees for overdrafts and things like that. So the earlier we start teaching our kids about things like checking accounts, the better. So for this age group, they recommend that you open checking accounts for them and that you put their money in the checking account and teach them how to manage it, how to keep track of it, how to balance their checking account each month. That is going to be huge and a great benefit to our children as they get ready to go off to college and get into the real world. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode this week. I'm really excited about this topic. I hope that you are also excited about it and are interested in learning more about teaching your children about money. I'm really hoping that you're enjoying the podcast. If you are, I would ask you, please subscribe to the podcast. I say it every week. Subscribe. And really, if you could go on wherever you get your podcast, Stitcher, iTunes, wherever it is, if you could please leave us a review, I would really appreciate it. I need more reviews so that we can start ranking better in the search engines and that we can start being heard and found by more people. Also, as you know, I'm a bankruptcy lawyer. If you're interested in finding out more about bankruptcy, I'm going to recommend that you go to freebkbook.com, put in your information, and we can send you a free copy of our book, Bankruptcy in Florida, Your Freedom, Your Future. Or if you're not in Florida, we'll send you a free report on bankruptcy that's got a lot of great information in it about bankruptcy. And that'll do it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And I can't wait to report back to you on how our meeting goes tomorrow and get into the next few topics, which would be about spending and saving and some other things that I'm learning from this great book, Smart Money, Smart Kids. All right. Talk to you all next episode.